Hello everybody, today I would like to talk about wedding timeline. I'm Edinburgh-based wedding photographer and I have photographed almost 100 weddings. And I hope this video is gonna give you a little bit better idea of how to plan your wedding day, what to do when, and how long things might take on your wedding day as well. So I hope you're gonna enjoy this video. So guys, you got recently engaged, congratulations, awesome. Big day is coming, a lot of planning is happening. Probably a lot of excitement too. I'm looking for vendors, photographers, florists, venues, etc, etc. So today I'm going to walk you through a little bit of a timeline. The idea of this video comes purely few days ago. I got another meeting with a couple and I always walk through the timeline with them, you know, during the meeting from A to Z, you know, when, what is going to happen, how long is going to take. And this, you know, normally gives quite few aha moments for a couples who didn't realize, you know, how much various things might take time to do. So I'm gonna just walk you through, you know, from your prep, maybe throughout the evening part. It might be quite comprehensive video today. But I hope it's going to help you to plan your wedding day better. Bridal preparation, the morning part. It's always fun for girls, you know, a lot is happening, you know. I normally myself, I do quite a documentary style wedding photography during the morning part, unintrusive. A part of doing like a bridal headshots, you know, beautiful, you know, full body pictures, maybe some of the family pictures, and all girls together, but a part of that is pretty relaxed part of the day. This is probably the part of the day which is one of the, I don't want to say most crucial part, but quite important. The reason being, if your morning part is preparations are late and you're late for your church or venue, the rest of the day most likely is going to go late too. So for me it's quite important, you know, to get a message across to couples, you know, let's try to be on a time, you know, in the morning. Okay, 5-10 minutes, you know, is fine, you know, 15 minutes late is okay, you know, that's absolutely fine. But when we get like into half an hour late, you know, and things like that, then things start to kind of spiral during the day. So morning preparation, you know, I always say, you know, if you have to be, let's say 12 o'clock at the, you know, at the church or a venue for a ceremony, I would like you to be ready almost, I would say 45 minutes prior that. Reason being is very simple, you know, 45 minutes would give me enough time to have a nice portrait of you, you know, nice full body shots done with you, with portraits with your girls, you know, family, mom, you know, dad entering, and most likely, you know, your hair and makeup people what might be a little bit behind anyway. So that gives me a little bit leeway to play with. You know, the last thing what I would like to happen on a wedding morning probably is, you know, 5 minutes before you need to leave, you know, wedding coordinator standing and waiting for you, and the hair and makeup people say like, you know, hey, we're done, you know, 5 minutes before that, and I have no time to create your bridal portrait. You know, there are photographers who are more, you know, doing unplugged weddings where, you know, there is no posing or anything like that happening, which is absolutely fine in that case scenario. But I do want to give my brides, you know, nice headshots, you know, nice, you know, pictures of getting ready part, nice photos with the mom and dad, you know. These will be very important down the line, well, at least in my opinion. So, you know, I always say, you know, 45 minutes prior would be nice if you're ready, and make sure you do tell this to your hair and makeup company. Let's talk about logistics on a day. This is quite interesting part of the wedding day as well, you know, how long it takes to get from place to place, you know, driving and, you know, getting to maybe to the church, from the church, you know, and things like that. This is quite often overlooked part as well, and actually during my last meeting that was quite a big part of the day. They have to travel, you know, an hour to the church, an hour back, you know, and things like that. And unfortunately, you know, if you have planned your ceremony, let's say quite late in the afternoon on a winter time, you might not be able to get back to the venue to get those, you know, creative couple pictures outdoors and things like that, because it's simply going to be too dark. I normally would say, look, make a good calculation of, how long, it takes to get to the church, how long is the reception, the ceremony time, and then what happens after that. If you do create any portraits at the church or doing group photos at the church, make sure your venue knows that, and you can plan out your timeline a little bit better for that. And and then you have some time also obviously to get back to the venue. So it's quite good, to walk through step by step, okay, how long it takes, to get there, and give a little bit, 5 minutes or so here and there, for you to play with. So your photographer should be able to walk you through that as well, and they normally have pretty good idea, how long it would take to get those family pictures done, how long would take any creatives maybe at the church to be done, and things like that. But logistics probably is quite important to talk about it too. The ceremony part is generally, you have your a half an hour, or a church weddings can be, your like 45 minutes or so. So there is not so much, what we can do about that. We just normally try to turn up on a time, get the things done, and and after that we just move through to the next stage of the day. And talking about the next stage, we will be here in your reception time. Now this is kind of like a funny time of the day, and I always ask couples how they want to plan their ceremony time. So normally you're giving, as a standard at the venues, you're normally giving your an hour and a half. So and I normally try to split this up in 3 parts. I would say 30 minutes creatives, your portraits, 30 minutes you see your guests, and 30 minutes we do your family photos. So it depends, how many family photos you have, or how much you need to walk around during your creative photos. You might be considering if you need any more, maybe extra time, or you might say to the venue coordinators, look, while you're seating the guests, we might be still away for, so some creatives or things like that. So it's quite important to plan this part as well. And I actually say, look, your family portraits, all those formals, that will be very important part of the day, because longer we take for creating your family pictures, less time you have with me for your own portraits. If you have hired nice venue, nice grounds, and maybe going to the beach and things like that, you do want to capture that. You probably would not want to stand during the group photos all this time and then just have some time with your guests and that's you done. And after the dinner, you might not have time actually to do that, because the light might be too dark, or this and that, meeting evening guests. So it's quite important to plan out how many group photos you're gonna have for your formals. I normally recommend yourselves to organize this. So bride and groom would sit down and just kind of like plan out, okay, this is how many we're gonna have. And I always say roughly 3 minutes per group. So when you make your list, you're roughly gonna know how much time it's gonna take. So let's say you planned your 10 groups, it's a half an hour. Obviously it can be done quicker if we are very efficient, if we get maybe some helpers to round up people for us, things like that. But that after ceremony, please try to kind of like plan those group photos, make sure you're on a ball with that. And then for your creatives, it depends how long you're taking, how far you're walking away, what you're doing, things like that. But I normally count like around 20 to 30 minutes to get nice couple shots, maybe get some bridal party pictures outside, and things like that. Depends on the weather. And the rest of the time, you can enjoy with your guests, and we just do like some candids of your guests, little groups, and and things like that. Talking about the creative part during the daytime, that's when we go away and take your portraits. I work a little bit in a different way. I never stay a long time in one location. I move very rapidly. I try to create as many as possible creative portraits of yourselves within your venue. my assistants actually very often are quite surprised how fast I move on a day. I don't tend to stay, you know, like let's stay 10 minutes in this spot and then move there and move there. I actually, you know, go to the spot, get my pictures, you know, assistants are with me who get the candid pictures, and I would spend like 3 minutes or so in one spot, and we just move on, keep walking, getting through the pictures, you know, and that gives me a great variety of the shots, you know. It's not all the same, and couples love, you know, this kind of stuff, you know. And you know, you'll be talking a lot amongst yourselves as well, you know. This is going to be the time when you're going to actually first time will be able to talk with each other about the day, about the morning, whatever happened, you know, things like that. So you're also going to be pretty relaxed at this point, you know, kind of like, okay, the almost official part is done, you know, a part of the speech is coming for you grooms, so maybe brides too, but part of that you're kind of like, this is pretty chilled out and fast moving part of the day. But yes, I'm not one of those photographers who spend a lot of time in one spot. So evening part, you know, after, you know, you had your meal, evening part is very, very relaxed always. I normally stay till around 10 o'clock, you know, so I have plenty of time, you know, between that 7 o'clock till 10 o'clock, you know, to get few more creative portraits of yourselves, and those creative portraits normally would involve quite low light, you know. I either, you know, might have sparklers with me, you know, maybe some smoke grenades, you know, something like nice and creative, funky to do. Or, you know, if that's a summertime, we might just pop out to the beach, or, you know, catch nice evening light or something like that, just to do few more, you know, creative pictures of you guys. And you might want to get out anyway to have some fresh air, you know, kind of like get ready for that evening dancing, you know, in a mood, you know, meet your evening guests and things like that. But generally this part is pretty relaxed, you know. I never really worry too much what happens between your, you know, food and, you know, evening buffet. So there is always kind of like, we get the cake cutting, you get the first dance, but there is very, very rarely that there is a set time when this is going to happen, unless, you know, of course, if you have a band and who wants to kick off at the you know, specific time, then of course, you know, I'll be on the ball. I'll make sure you are there, you know, we're not taking too long, you know, and things like that. So guys, I hope this gave you, you know, a little bit idea of you know, your timeline and how to plan the day, and important parts of the day which you need to pay attention to. So, you know, if you have any questions, you know, comment on the video, or, you know, send me an email or something like that. It was nice to have you around, and thank you very much for watching, and I look forward to share more videos with you soon. Thank you. Bye bye.